know, if somebody asked me what my idea of paradise is, I would say diving. Diving every day, seeing the beauty and the wonders beneath the sea. But can I find paradise in a world blessed with fast food and microchips? I'm not so sure. So, I'm going on a journey to see if paradise is lost or paradise is found. My first destination is Hawaii, home of sun, surf and dodgy shirts. For many, this is paradise, waxing down their surfboard and riding the big blue. But when I arrived on the islands, everything was not as it should be. Well, here I am on the famous Waikiki beach. Now, have you noticed something that's missing? Yes, no 30-foot waves, no surf. Waves or not, Waikiki is a magnet for American tourists. 3 million of them a year turn up looking for a slice of heaven. This is the birthplace of surfing, with its own surf legends, like Cowboy Rosser.
I started surfing when I was 7 years old.
7 years old?
7 years old. I bought my first board. It was like a telephone pole. I paid $5 for it. And I couldn't even drag it. I had to drag it in the water. It was so heavy. At that time, we didn't have any rudders, so we used to just push it and jump on.
But you're still surfing now, though, aren't you?
Oh, I love surfing. I won't stop. I'm 62 right now. I hope I can go another 20 years.
Well, you will. You will. Look at the state that you are now.
Well, I'm trying.
You're the sun-kissed body of a young Adonis. Now, tell me something. Look, you've got this nickname, haven't you? It's called Cowboy. Tell me, as a surfer, how did you get the nickname Cowboy?
Oh, when I was young, we used to use these, they call it jammies. Yeah. It's a long shot. It goes way past your knees. So when I used to catch a wave with the trade wave blowing, I used to run on the tip of the board. And you got to keep your feet apart so the wind blowing. So I'm down on the board like this and like a big cowboy.
That's it, go.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah, that's it. There you go. I can do this. This is easy. What are you supposed to do when a big wave hits you? I mean, you're supposed to sort of roll with it, or you dive under it, or go over the top?
Well, what you try to do, if a big wave hits you, you go way in front of the board and you push the front of the board under the wave. So when you push it under, the foam goes over you and you can come up the other side.
Yeah, but when I do that, you see, I have an air bottle on my back and I can stay down for 20 minutes. That's my answer. Did you get married on a surfboard?
Yes, I did.
Well, how did you do that?
Well, my
What do you do with the bridesmaids?
She rode a board.
Oh, go on. So you explain it. How did it happen?
Okay. When I was young, the Beach Boys, I used to admire the old-time Beach Boys. They used to get married on a catamaran, okay?
Yeah, that's
then,
a boat.
As I got older, another guy got married, a famous Beach Boy. He got married on a canoe. So I got married on a surfboard.
Where was the vicar? On the front or what, on the back?
What's that?
Where's the man who married you? Where did he stand?
Oh, no. He was on his own board. I got this judge.
What did you do? You have one of these microphones and went,
no.
You take this. Well, what happened if she didn't catch you up? You sort of married someone else?
No. Everybody, we stood out there. Maybe about 700 people paddled out. Then we had our ceremony out there. We went out on 2 boards.
Oh, you had your ceremony out there on the board?
No,
not sort of going like this.
No. We had it on the board.
Clever, yeah. The Hawaiian Islands are volcanic, built up from explosive eruptions of lava from the ocean bed over millions of years. And it's still going on, rumbling away. Even underwater, you can't escape from the lava. And the Hawaiian Islands are active. They can blow up at any time, sending spumes of hot molten magma into the atmosphere.
This different strata of lava, as it flowed down, the outer surface cooled and solidified, and it left these pockets where the hot lava continued to flow through. When the hot lava flow ended, it left these air pockets, which are lava tubes, and that's what we're going to be diving today, in some of these lava tubes.
So there's one over there that you were saying that goes, how far do you say that one? It's like a hole, it's like a cave.
Yeah, right on the face of the cliff. That one comes out here at sea level, and if you trace it all the way up to the top, it comes out about 1,000 feet above sea level, 3 miles up the mountain. If you were to stand in the mouth of that, you can feel the cool mountain breeze blowing down through that hole.
That's amazing. Why is it then that the lava didn't plug the hole? How is it that it's left a tube?
Well, they say when the lava is flowing, it's of course red hot and it's running like water.
Yeah.
Once it gets stopped up at the top, it continues to run down, and then the pipe is empty.
And the pipe is empty.
Right.
I see. For the first dive of my trip, I'm going down a lava tube. By the time I get there, I hope it's stopped erupting. It's an eerie moonscape down here, full of strange shapes and sudden odd shafts of light. I'm feeling my way down this massive tube of lava, sort of caving 50 feet down. I prefer exploring wrecks or swimming with the sea life. Someone said it's the underwater equivalent of walking through Pompeii. But for me, it was more like going into my cellar after the washing machine had flooded. I'm glad to have done this, but it's not really the sort of diving I enjoy. Definitely not for the claustrophobic. And talking of claustrophobic, this is Waikoloa Village, a huge purpose-built self-contained resort to house all those coming in search of paradise. It used to be a field of black lava until American get-up-and-go dug a 26-acre hole and filled it with a luxury holiday destination. There are 1,200 guest rooms, 2 18-hole golf courses, 4 swimming pools, 7 restaurants, 3 ballrooms, an imported golden beach, and boats to get you around. These cost £250,000 each and were designed by Disney and travel along underwater rails. But if you miss them, take the tram. Swiss-made and a mere £2 million each. It's magic, but I'm not sure it's paradise. Is that why you wear it, or what?
Oh, I'll just for you.
Ah.
Yeah, there you go.
That's it. No, well, nobody told me that, did they?
Yeah.
Secret of...
Okay, just
Why have
remember-
I got this on anyway?
We
Are
go
we
through
going
the
mining?
tunnels. Yeah.
What?
Give me a hand.
Okay.
Up forward here.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do I do? Kneel?
No, sit down on your
Sit.
butt, right?
What's this for?
You got that's first
Is
aid
this a
kit.
parachute or what?
No, first aid kit.
First aid. Oh, so you don't hold on to that?
No, you don't have to hold on to that. That's just put in here. Okay.
Oh, I see. Isn't
The
there
next
anybody
thing
else
we
to
do,
hold?
we're gonna have to load-
First aid kit? Rodney's just told me he doesn't want any yellow water in the boat. I think I know what he means, but that might be impossible. Right. Where's the hole? No, he really was called Rodney. He's taking me on another boat that visitors to Hawaii can't get enough of. A fantastic 30-mile-long theme park ride. Except he tells me it was built for a serious purpose. It's an irrigation channel, properly called a flume. It was constructed in the 1870s to carry water from the rainforests up in the hills down to the sugar plantations below. But I've got a nasty feeling he hasn't told me everything. Next time I want a shower, Rodders, I'll stick to my hotel room, thank you. Apparently, Hawaiian princesses used to come to this pool to swim. No truth in the rumour that they were looking for eligible frogs to kiss. They could have found me. Oh, am I glad that's over. Oh, never again. Oh, I'm soaked, I'm cold, and hungry. Oh, well, this will be the fish market then. Some place. Mind you, I haven't recognised a single specimen yet. Do they do cod here? Well, despite the variety, I'm told most of the fish in the local restaurants will have been imported from the US mainland, because visitors only like what they're used to. Now see these moonfish. I think in my local chippy they would be called specials. In another corner of the Paradise Islands, I've journeyed to see some other marine specimens at the Oahu Sea Life Park. Live ones this time. Like these seals and a very unusual orphan, a young melon-headed whale.
The reports were that there was a strange animal that was approaching swimmers on one of the remote beaches on the big island of Hawaii. And she was suckling on fingers, suckling on toes, people who were on surfboards and that sort of. So we had all these reports coming in. There was a team of marine mammal specialists who went out to see this animal, and it turned out that she was already dehydrated, she was malnourished, she had obviously been left behind, she was abandoned.
She was starving then, was she, basically?
And being eaten alive by sharks. There is a pelagic species of sharks called cookie cutter sharks. And the way they attack their victims is by taking plugs of flesh out of it. And yes, when they got out there, she was started to be eaten alive by these sharks.
So you got her back here. You fed her by hand?
Well, around the clock for the first 3 months that she came in. First of all, after she was assessed in the field by our medical team to make sure that this was not an animal that was a diseased animal, number one. We wanted to make sure that she had a chance of surviving as they went to handle her and then relocate her back to Sea Life Park so we could continue caring for her. Once she met that criteria, then we got her into our pool. We swam with her around the clock, fed her every 2 hours through nipples. We had to come up with a lot of different techniques around the clock, 3 to 4 months.
Oh, manners.
This is a kolu. He's a teenager in his mid-teens.
They're monk seals, aren't they?
Right, Hawaiian monk seal. There is a species in the Mediterranean, which is even more endangered than the Hawaiian species.
So these are endangered, but the first thing is that these, everybody thinks that seals just live in the Arctic. But this particular species lives here in the Pacific.
Right. In fact, they are the tropical species of seal. They've been here at the park for,
Pardon?
Close to 10 years.
Sounds a bit like me.
They've been here.
He's been here 10 years. And were they born here?
No, they were not born here. They both came as, he actually came as an underweight pup.
Do you keep them here just to, something for the people to view, or is there research going on, or what do you
It's actually both. They're here for the people to come and learn about, and we also eventually want to do more research with them and perhaps even do some breeding, since we have the only 2 adult female monk seals also.
Ooh,
This is a mouth exam, so we can check out his teeth in his mouth.
Good grief.
A lot of teeth in there.
That's a lot of trust.
Here we ask him to target, so he knows he has to touch this. And I can move it anywhere, target, and he'll move with it.
He's wonderful.
He can roll over, and we can check his belly.
This training, Steph, is good really because that means you can get close to the animal to do any research that you want.
Exactly. We can examine him, and eventually we'd like to get a voluntary blood sample.
Yeah.
That's a big goal for us. And it's also great preventative medicine. Make sure that he's healthy from head to tail.
Oh, that's great. Can we get him back in the water and see if he'll, see, and show us how he waves at you?
Okay. Water.
Not me, you twit. Come on, in you go. Right, come on, let's see this wonderful bit of acting.
Big wave.
Hawaiian Islands aren't just about black rocks and beaches, surfers and sun worshippers. No, inland there are wide open spaces. And being the 50th state of the US of A, that means horses. And where there are horses... Well, that's marvellous, isn't it, eh? I've come halfway across the world to Hawaii to find a real-life cowboy. Isn't that right, Randy?
That's right, or I'll do till one comes along, so...
Randy isn't just a cowboy. He's an expert in horse psychology.
I try to present myself and new things to the horse in a way that's non-threatening and non-confrontational, so that it wins his confidence and assurance that he's not going to be beaten or hurt or abused. And when you can present those things that are outside his normal realm of experience in a way that he can handle and understand, it builds his confidence, and pretty soon, you know, the sky's the limit.
Is there such a thing as a dangerous horse?
Well, yeah, there are dangerous horses, and people made them that way. They come on too strong or without any knowledge. They thought they could force them into things, and the horse begins to defend himself because he feels threatened. If a horse gets the right foundation from the start, a lot of trouble gets avoided. If he gets a bad start, you can go back and help it. It'll always be there, but you can override it.
All right.
There's no delete button on a horse. He remembers what happened, good and bad.
The Parker Ranch here on Big Island isn't just for show. This is a serious operation, boasting the third largest herd of cattle in the USA. Randy tells me there were cowboys on Hawaii called Paniola long before they reached the Wild West. You live here in this wonderful place in Hawaii. Would you consider that this is paradise?
Well, on certain days I would. Well, it is a really great place. And, you know, every place I've ever been as a cowboy, Montana, Wyoming, Nevada, California, every place I thought it was paradise. I thought it couldn't get any better. And the next place got better. The next place got better. And when I came to Hawaii, I have 100 horses a year to handle, have beautiful weather to ride in. I can drive 10 miles down to the beach and go snorkeling in fabulous clear water. It's a pretty remarkable place. So, I don't know if paradise is on earth, but this ain't a bad gig.
Back in Waikiki, cowboys who've probably never even seen a cow close up entertain the holidaymakers. Not far from the pleasures of Waikiki is a place I've wanted to visit for a long, long time. Pearl Harbor. You know, sometimes when something happens somewhere that moves you very deeply and leaves its mark. Well, it was like that for me when I learned what happened here on the 7th of December 1941, the day of the Japanese attack. One of the first duties at Pearl Harbor that Sunday was the raising of the US Navy colors. Ceremony still carried out every morning at all US Navy bases. But that morning, the ceremony was never completed. For crews just back from naval exercises, Sunday was a rest day, a chance to relax, unwind. Japanese bombers and torpedo planes were already heading for Pearl Harbor from the north. Radio silence, skillful planning, and sheer good luck brought them to their target undetected. They met no anti-aircraft fire, they met no American fighters. America's neutrality was about to end. The attack started at 7:55 that Sunday. By 8:25, 4 battleships were sinking or were sunk. And by the time the attack ended, over 2,300 were killed, and 1,000 were injured.
Where the planes come over that mountain range, circled around. We had a flight of bombers come in at the same time. That's why we took these.
What, you mean Japanese bombers?
No, ours.
Your bombers, right.
Yeah, they were going to land next door over at Hickam Field. So we thought these planes were ours.
Oh, I see. So you thought they were your bombers coming?
That's right, until they got right over here by the battleships and turned and saw the meatball. The gunner's meal, those are Japs.
It was carnage. Ripped apart by a direct hit to the magazine, the USS Arizona was a mass of flames from which there was no escape. What's your feeling when you see, you know, the Japanese people coming to visit here?
Well, the older ones are quite apologetic. In fact, we've had some of the guys that bombed us, some of the pilots.
Really?
Oh yeah, we had a whole group come down here. They all brought wreaths, blazed, took flowers out there, said prayers.
Oh,
In fact, one of them wrote me a letter and he said he prays that it wasn't one of his bombs that hit the Arizona.
She lies still under the waters of the harbor, beneath a gleaming white memorial, a place of pilgrimage for those touched by the tragedy.
There was this woman who came up to me and she said, you know, this is a place of hope. Now, I had heard many terms for the memorial, but not a place of hope. And I says, ma'am, that's intriguing. Why do you think this is a place of hope? She says, well, I was in Europe, and when I heard the United States was now in the war, it gave us hope. And she extended her arm to me, and on it was a tattoo. She was in the nightmare called Auschwitz, and it gave her strength to survive. It's amazing that the legacy of this story continues 7 years after the fact, that Arizona crew members that survived the ship asked that their ashes be brought, many of them, and reinterred the ship. And I asked one, I said, David, I said to this man, why would you want that done? He said, my place is with my crew.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated until the Navy crew members advise you to disembark. You are about to visit the final resting place of the crew of the USS Arizona, considered by many to be sacred ground. The ship is their tomb.
For visitors of all nationalities, this is a place of pilgrimage, a chance to come and absorb the lessons of the past, a somber reminder that even on this island that feels like paradise, hell was not far away. After 50 years, the ship is still giving up its oil, as if it were weeping for its lost crew. I needed some time alone to think about what I'd just seen. For me, the best place for contemplation is under the water. diving at night has a different feel about it. It's not that it's scary, but you become somehow more aware of the size and scale of the natural world. In this mysterious darkness, I'm hoping to get close to one of the ocean's most graceful creatures. A giant Pacific manta ray, maybe 16 feet across. It's attracted to feed on the swarms of plankton caught in the beams of our lights. From here it looks really dangerous. But despite the size of that mouth, these creatures are gentle, graceful, riding the eddies and currents like giant birds. Swimming with them is a privilege, the perfect antidote to the scenes of destruction still so visible in Pearl Harbor. It's a reminder, too, that whatever man may have done to his fellow man, here nature has a way of restoring a place to paradise. That's Hawaii, then. An extraordinary natural wonder, whatever man might try to do to the place. And a place where they know how to look after the millions who pour in every year seeking their slice of air-conditioned paradise. But now, I'm on my way to the island of Chuk for the second part of my journey. Chuk is over 3,000 miles southeast of Hawaii, yet I'm still in Polynesia. I certainly got about those Polynesians. Didn't even have a bike. Chuk is just beginning to draw in the tourist dollar. After the swish Americanized efficiency of Hawaii, this is a place where paradise comes with certain logistical problems. Ever had the feeling that you've lost something? Still no sign of my luggage. That's not the only thing I've lost lost time. You see, in order to get to here, which is Chuk, from Hawaii, we've had to cross the international date line 3 times, which means that Monday became Tuesday, which became Monday again, which ended up as Tuesday. They call it zigzagging. You're not half as confused as I am. I wonder which day my luggage ended up in. This is the main street of Bueno, or Moin to the locals. It's the capital of Chuk. It's also known as Chuk. Yeah, I wish they'd make up their minds. Compared to Waikiki, Bueno, or Moin, might not get as many votes from the jet set, but what it has got is life, and in abundance. Oh, yes. Now, that's what you call a welcome. And you can find other comforts with familiar goods in the shops. Nice tea. Lovely. know what? I bet everyone's dreamt about being stranded on a desert island. I know Sue Lawley has. And here's mine. I'm stranded on this desert island, exactly like the one in that film, Castaway, with Oliver Reed and Amanda Donoghue. Except mine hasn't got Amanda Donoghue. I'll tell you what it does have. Has Rex. And here he is. Here's the other inhabitant, Rex, the dog. Yeah, he lives here, which you might think it's wonderful being on a desert island with all the sun and the sea and all of that, but it's a bit stifling socially, you know, I mean, sniff-wise, as it were. Oh, yes, that's it, you tell him. But he does get visits, conjugal visits, from the occasional lady dog during the year, but he's a bit of a playboy, so, yes, we don't mention puppies. Yeah, no, I didn't mention puppies. Should have mentioned puppies. The start of any dive is full of anticipation, but this one is particularly exciting. Put on my pyjamas.
Stay on the line,
Chuk would win most divers' vote of diving paradise.
Check your light.
Going down fast and come up slowly.
Again, Gradvin.
We're going down fast and come up slowly.
This is what we actors call a dignified entrance. This part of the Pacific is littered with the sobering legacy of war. Gradvin, our local guide, is to take me on a voyage of discovery through this graveyard. We start with the wreck of the Fujikawa Maru. In February 1942, she was the victim of a massive American air attack on the Japanese fleet, moored in the lagoon. In all, 60 ships, mostly freighters carrying weapons and armaments, were sunk here. Another casualty of that attack was the Haina Maru, a submarine depot ship and the largest vessel in the lagoon. Before the war, she was a passenger liner. Happily, when she was sunk, most of her crew got off alive. It's eerie down here. Mysterious shapes looming up out of the gloom. Curiously, when this Mitsubishi bomber hit the water, her engine powered out of its housing to let the separated main body sink to the ocean bed, where it lies half a century on, almost intact. The Americans codenamed this type of bomber Betty. I've heard of a streetcar named Desire, but a bomber named Betty? Typical, isn't it? Just when you think you've got away from it all, you hit rush hour, Chuk style. Although rush might be an exaggeration, because no one does much rushing around here. Well, it's day 2 here in Chuk, and I was right. Our luggage has gone missing. So in order to get a change of clothes, the producer has whipped down to the local Arkwright store to get us a change of clothing. Now, I know it's an Arkwright store because the proprietor convinced our producer that this shirt that I'm wearing is the latest fashion here in Chuk. He said that this stands for Superior Designer Apparel. Sounds convincing. This morning, on the way to work, I passed a young girl and her mother who immediately looked at me and fell about laughing. And when I asked them what was so amusing, the young girl said, "Because you're wearing my school uniform. Seventh-day Adventists." What a paradise to grow up in. Children are safe to play out on the streets at traditional games like tire rolling and like cockfighting. Life here is about taking it easy, having fun, smiling. No, it's about having a good time all the time. Elvis, it's not a very
famous name.
It's a famous. It's not Chucky's name, is it?
American name.
Is it named after the Elvis?
Yes, I think my parents fall in love with the movie, so and when I born, they named me after Elvis Presley.
A lot of people come here to dive. Okay? They dive the fleet, the Japanese fleet. Do you think that tourism is good for Chuk, or?
Yeah, well, it's good for the economy. We need more tourists to come to Chuk because you know, we depend mostly on the United States. And what I think what the government wants is they want tourists, but just to remain the same.
A growth in tourism would almost certainly change lifestyles here. But at what price, I wonder?
The food that we eat is certainly a lot different from the food that we used to eat before. Right now, the kids are crying for rice.
If you go to the stores, you'll find that Spam is probably one of the most commonly sold canned meats and one of the most popular, in addition to corned beef. And even when they buy corned beef, given the choice between a brand of corned beef with mostly lean meat content and one with high fat content, they prefer the one with a high fat content because it's tastier.
As for drink, they've long been partial to a bevy in these parts. Do you have any problems here with drugs?
Drugs, I think only marijuana. They're growing on the islands now. You know, these young people growing marijuana, but it's not really bad as compared to the other places.
Last November there was a terrible fire here in Chuk. It started in the jail. Fortunately, the prisoners were quickly evacuated. But then it spread right the way through to the police station, which was next door. It then took complete hold and rapidly spread to the Chief Inspector's office, which is here, where all the police records are held. Well, by the time the fire brigade arrived, the place was completely gutted. Oh, by the way, the fire station's next door to the police station. If you're wondering what happened to the prisoners, they were sent to help the fire brigade. True. What's that you got there?
That's a love stick right there.
Love stick?
Yeah.
What's it mean? You want to marry me or what?
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
What, seriously, what's it for? What is a love stick? What does it do?
Before the feast, the chief got a call a feast, like a party like.
Yeah.
And then the guys go out and start carving their own love stick, and
everyone's absolutely different.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Right, so a young Chukies fella, and we're talking about a long time ago, carves his love stick, takes it to the party, and then...
This guy would be like spotting the girl and then walk over, and then let her
show her his love stick.
Exactly.
Gives her the old love stick to have a look at, if you'll pardon the expression, and she recognises it, then what happens?
And then later that night, after the party, you sneak over the girl's house. You sneak over the girl's house, and then you stick it through the hut. You know, like they got this
yes.
Stick it through, put her in her hair, and then twist it up, then try to wake her up.
Oh, I see. And what happens
then? She'll be getting up, and then try to feel the love stick again.
Yeah.
And if she recognizes it, or if she likes it, then it's good for you. But if not, you're in trouble.
And it's not just fires that raise the temperature around here. I have to admit, this lady rather scared me. But she claims to be able to add spice to your love stick with a specially concocted love potion. Just don't ask what's in it.
Those are the mixture. We mix them together, pound them, stuck it in a bottle, and put some perfume with it for smelling.
Wow.
Then you use it on the wound.
Sigaret. Miran. Miran.
All right then, Anastasia, go on, I'll have a go. I'll have some of that. Thanks. Put it on there, like that. Like that. Like that. Don't look at me like that. There you go, it worked. I'm set up for the evening. Lady on my arm, love stick in my hand. I just wish George Formby here would find somewhere else to practice. At night, the lagoon takes on a somber aspect. Don't think I'm alone in reckoning it's haunted by the past. I asked Gradvin what terrible personal stories it holds.
The Japanese, they come here. One day, they dive in their ship, and the rest of the day, they go out to the reef. And because of the feeling that they have.
Is it a feeling, a sense of loss, or a sense of defeat, do you think?
I think the feeling of the loss.
But not so long ago, a lot of their remains, their skulls and bones, were taken from the ships. Could you tell us who took them and why?
The Japanese, they're the one took the remains from the ship. That's according to their custom. They like to get the bones and burn them and get the ashes. And they get the ashes and send back to Japan, to the family of the dead people on the sunken ship. There is still some, but not too many.
A lot of the remains, I suppose, are in parts of the ship that are very difficult to reach now, aren't they?
They're in the mud. They're way inside the ship, and they're buried in the mud. And it's very hard to see those. But if you are digging in the mud, then you can see skeleton bones. They're buried under the mud.
Do you still get any sense of emotion, any sense of disturbed feelings when you dive the wrecks?
Yes, I do. I do have a feeling. Every time I dive the ship, I do have feeling to go inside and imagine the people they trapped inside when the boat went down. And I do have that feeling.
However many times I dive, descending into the unknown never ceases to fascinate me. Here among the wreckage of war, you can't help but think long and hard on the horror that came to paradise. Even now, some items remain intact, preserved in their underwater tomb, like this tank. Yet take a closer look, and you can see the way nature has somehow softened these instruments of war, rounded the edges of the weaponry, drawn their sting. The deadliest of weapons seem strangely peaceful. As we swim over the Fujikawa Maru, Gradvin takes me down into the cavernous hold. In peacetime, it would have been filled with a cargo of raw silk, cotton, jute. But when it went down, it held spare parts for Zero fighters. What you can never forget as you swim over, through and round the ghostly remnants of battle is that this is the last resting place of ordinary men. Men with families and loved ones. Men who met the most awful of ends here in paradise.
This is a very nice place. We have our own tradition here in Chuk.
This is a peaceful country compared to other country in the world.
This is home. Home sweet home. I gotta come back here.
Is this paradise or is home paradise?
This is a home paradise for me.
So home is paradise.
Oh, yeah.
This place leaves me happy because I love nature, and right here you're very close to nature. The contact with nature is very clear.
Would you consider this where we are now, where you live, paradise?
Yes,
No question.
no question.
Really?
It's no place like home. So
No.
it's paradise to me.
I never expected to find the Garden of Eden. And in the real world, I'm not exactly sure what paradise is. But I know what it isn't. It isn't cruelty, and it isn't pollution, and it isn't destruction of the natural world around us. So, where was paradise lost, and where was paradise found? I think I've made my mind up. I'll leave you to make up yours.